In the dead of night, when most of the city was asleep, a $6 million machine sat silent on the factory floor. 12 of the best engineers in the company had already walked away from it, shaking their heads, declaring it beyond repair. Production was stopped. Millions of dollars were bleeding away with every passing hour. And then, at 4 in the morning, the billionaire who owned it all walked through the side door and froze. There, under a single flickering work light, a black single dad in a worn maintenance uniform was on his knees, tools scattered around him, quietly bringing the impossible machine back to life. If stories like this move something inside you, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. This is Whispers of Heart 0.2, and we believe the quietest acts of kindness can change everything. Marcus Thompson had been working the night shift at Horizon Dynamics for 3 years. He wasn't an engineer. He wasn't even on the maintenance team. He was the man who mopped the floors, emptied the trash, and made sure the breaker and coffee pots were clean before the day crew arrived. Most people never learned his last name. They just called him the night guy. But Marcus had 2 reasons to keep showing up: his 8-year-old daughter, Aaliyah, and his 5-year-old son, Jaden. Their mother had left 2 winters ago, and every dollar from that paycheck kept the lights on in a small apartment on the side of town. What nobody knew was that Marcus spent his lunch breaks and late night studying, library books on mechanical systems, free online courses, old repair manuals he found in the recycling bin. He never talked about it. He just watched, listened, and learned. Kindness had always been his quiet religion. When a younger co-worker's car broke down, Marcus stayed an extra hour to help jump in. When the day shift receptionist was struggling with her mother's hospital bills, he left anonymous envelopes of cash in her locker. He never asked for credit. He simply believed that if you could ease someone's load, you should. Then the machine failed. It was a precision laser cutting system worth more than most people would earn in a lifetime. 12 engineers spent 2 full days running diagnostics. They replaced boards, recalibrated sensors, and finally concluded the core alignment module was ruined beyond recovery. The manufacturer's lead time was 6 weeks. The company stood to lose nearly $2 million in delayed contracts. The floor supervisor told everyone to go home. "We'll figure it out Monday," he said, voice heavy. Marcus stayed. He waited until the last engineer left, then walked over to the silent giant. He had watched this machine for years. He knew the rhythm of its sounds the way a father knows the breathing of sleeping children. Something about the failure pattern didn't sit right with him. He pulled out a small notebook from his pocket, the one filled with careful sketches and notes, and began to work. He didn't have the official tools, so he improvised with what the maintenance closet offered. Hours passed. His knees ached on the cold concrete. Sweat ran down his back. At 3:47 a.m., something clicked into place. The machine hummed once, softly, like it was waking from a long sleep. That was the moment Richard Hale walked in. Richard was the founder and majority owner of Horizon Dynamics. He had built the company from a rented garage into a global name. Success had made him wealthy, but it had also made him restless. Sleep rarely came easy. On nights when the numbers kept him awake, he would drive to the factory just to walk the floors and remember where it all started. He expected emptiness at 4 a.m. Instead, he found a man in a faded uniform kneeling beside the most expensive piece of equipment in the building, gently wiping the grease from his hands as the machine's status lights turned from red to green. Richard stood in the shadows for a long minute, watching. Then he stepped forward. "You fixed it," he said quietly. Marcus looked up, startled, and immediately began apologizing. "I'm sorry, sir. I know I'm not supposed to touch the production equipment. I thought maybe I could help." Everyone was so worried about the contracts, the kids. The company. I didn't want people to lose over time, of course. Richard asked him to explain what he had done. Marcus spoke simply, pointing to the alignment housing and describing how a hairline fracture in a secondary stabilizer had thrown the entire system out of tolerance. The engineers had been looking at the primary board. Marcus had looked at the machine the way a father looks at a child who isn't feeling well, patiently, thoroughly, with quiet attention. Richard listened without interrupting. When Marcus finished, the billionaire did something unexpected. He sat down on an overturned crate beside him. "Tell me about your kids," he said. And so Marcus did. He talked about Aaliyah's science fair project and how she wanted to be an engineer someday. He talked about Jaden's gap-toothed smile and without calculation. Richard was quiet for a long time. Then he stood, extended his hand, and said, "Marcus Thompson, I'd like you to come back tomorrow afternoon. Not for the night shift, for a conversation about your future here." The next day, Marcus arrived in the same clean but worn clothes he always wore. Richard was waiting with the head of engineering and the company's chief operating officer. They offered him a formal apprenticeship in the advanced systems division, full tuition for any technical courses he wanted to take, and a salary that would let him move his children into a safer neighborhood. When Marcus tried to protest that he hadn't earned it, Richard stopped him. "You earned it the moment you stayed when everyone else left," he said. "You earned it every time you helped a coworker without being asked. Kindness like that is rarer than any machine in this building. We need more of it." Word spread through the factory faster than any company memo. People who had walked past Marcus for years began seeing him differently. Some were inspired. Others were ashamed of how little they had noticed. The 12 engineers who had declared the machine dead asked him to walk them through its repair. He did so without a trace of pride, only patience. Within 6 months, Marcus was no longer the night guy. He was the man younger technicians came to when a problem felt impossible. Aaliyah started coming to the factory on Take Your Daughter to Work Day, eyes wide with wonder. Jaden still climbed into his father's bed after nightmares. But now the apartment had a second bedroom and a small backyard where the boy could chase fireflies. Richard never made a speech about what happened that night. He simply changed one policy. Every employee, no matter their title, was encouraged to stop and help when they saw someone struggling with a machine, with a problem, or with life. The company began setting aside a quiet fund for employees facing personal crises. No forms, no committees, just people helping people. Years later, when journalists asked Richard about the secret to Horizon Dynamics culture, he always told the same story. He told them about a black single father on his knees at 4 in the morning, fixing what experts had given up on, not for glory, not for a raise, but because kindness had become the way he moved through the world. And he told them that the most valuable machine in any company is the human heart that still chooses to care when it would be easier not to. We live in a time when it is easy to look away, easy to decide that someone else's problem is not ours, easy to protect our time, our energy, our comfort. But every once in a while, the universe places a broken machine in front of us, and a choice. We can walk past, or we can kneel down, open our toolbox, and begin the quiet work of repair. Marcus Thompson chose to kneel, and because he did, a factory changed, a family rose, and a billionaire remembered what wealth is actually for. The next time you see someone struggling, whether it's a coworker, a stranger, or the person who empties the trash while the rest of us sleep, remember the man under the flickering light. Remember that kindness does not need a title, a degree, or a spotlight. It only needs a willing heart and the courage to stay when others leave. Carry that courage with you. Offer it freely. The world is full of machines that look beyond repair. Some of them are made of metal. Most of them are made of people. And every single one of them is waiting for someone like you to decide that kindness is still worth the effort.